Have you ever witnessed something so shocking that it completely changed the way you see the world? This happened to me at the mall, and while I talk about it, I'm going to make flan. Hi, my name is Cindy, a 25 years old who loves cooking and just sharing my thought on this journey of life. So I was at the mall just casually strolling around, and when I was about to enter a well-known sports store, right in front of the display, there was a person standing there, and then out of nowhere, they grabbed all of the clothes and just walked away. Sometimes I think I live in a city with a low crime rate. I still heard about shoplifting on the news or social media, but witnessing it firsthand, that was a whole different feeling. I was shocked, and I quickly found a store employees and told them what happened, but their responses was it wasn't the first time of the day. The store will probably be fine, losing a few pieces of clothing, but what about the employees? They just seem helpless. What could they even do? This happened on a Saturday afternoon with tons of people around. And somehow, people just walked out with stolen goods, like it was nothing. The first step is to make the caramel. Add the sugar and water in a medium-low heat pan and stir constantly, but be careful when the sugar starts to jump out from the pan as it boils, and just wait until all the water evaporates. But this isn't just about shoplifting. The bigger question is why? We all know stealing is wrong on a moral level, but some people still do it. Maybe they need the money, maybe they're being forced. We only see what's in front of us, we don't know the full story. But here's the thing. When more and more people steal without consequences, what happens to society? If wrongdoing becomes normalized, where does it end? Instead of just relying on the consequences to stop bad behaviors, I think the real solution is personal responsibilities. Everything we do have a cause and effect. It might not impact us immediately, but eventually it will. So for the custard, we're mixing 5 large eggs together and adding the evaporated milk, condensed milk, and a splash of vanilla extract. But when you're mixing it, do it very softly and gently so we don't bring a lot of air bubble into the mixture. And before we put the custard into the baking tray, use another large baking tray, add in some hot water so it will melt the caramel a little bit so it wouldn't crack as much, or just keep the texture as runny. And if you have a strainer, I will highly suggest it to strain through the custard mixture so it will bring out all the lumps and all the extra bubbles in it. I can't control other people's action. I don't have the right to judge them. But what I can control is how I act, how I choose to be a person to myself, to my friends, my family, and society. We need more goodness in the world. I truly believe we all have good inside of us, but sometimes circumstances push people to make bad decisions just to survive. After the flan comes out from the oven, let it cool down completely, and before you take it out from the baking tray, use a spatula or a knife to cut all the edges. Just make sure that it is nice and loose for the flip. And for the flip, just hold your breath and do it in one shot. So there it is, a traditional dessert flan. It is still controverted that whether it is from a Spanish dessert or a Mexican dessert, but here it is. Let's take a look. From the appearance, looks pretty solid, but let's do a taste test. This is so good. It's the texture is kind of like a pudding. It's very soft, and then you get the sweetness from the caramel that we make in step 1, and then but also the sweetness, and then kind of a milky flavor from the condensed milk. This is so good. Definitely try it at home, and it's super easy to make. I think the most difficult part is to make the caramel. I tried it twice in order to make it work, but I feel the key to make the caramel is patience. So all the details are in the description box. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!